this one because you're
letting us
never
be
gonna come
there
on.
and having the golf
That
conditions
shows us.
and just
Even
overall
if it just shows
that we were
Paul,
at this type
I
of
can live with
facility.
that.
And I've had several people ask
If you want to move
so
the
is it going to be
image
there again next year?
itself, go to
Um,
the image,
I can't
edit.
confirm yet, but
And you can
I'm
choose.
very hopeful and that it will continue being there.
Yeah, that was my next question is what does the future hold in terms of tournaments for women now that you're there?
Next,
Are
you can
you
either choose left or right. So because he's doing all that stuff,
or is there some
I'm not in a
Ta-da!
position to
or
say
is there
that.
How
some
did you take
specific
that other one
There
off?
is specific,
just click on it.
Oh, you just okay.
specific
Click on 'em.
guidelines for
So that's
it.
kind of how it works with
But I
that
would
one.
say that,
Considering they don't have
definitely
their sponsorship
open. I'd like to
deals
keep
set
there.
up, but
I'm hoping to see maybe a state amateur
Mountainland, I think
back
they
in the
are
country
sponsored
club.
by Mountainland.
Well, I was gonna say it would make sense
Yeah,
doing
to do
some
it. Yeah.
run up to the U.S. Women's.
Yes.
So
and
we'll fix them in the
it's
break.
kind of
But at the very moment,
Portland itself, you're hosting the championship tournament. We just have to do this
so you always want
championship event that we are hosting. And for the most part, it seems that everyone's on board, but it's just, we go through, we get a new board every year. And so it's just getting that,
That's valid.
getting that confirmation once the new board comes on.
Got to
is
build
this-
it into the culture of
Correct,
the board.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say, most of them are every person. Oh my, congratulations on that event. It was so amazing to see all these ladies out here. We love it. Are we going to do it again? And,
So
some
do you
of
say,
them,
well, that's up to you?
some of them are board members, and
Yeah.
I kind of look and I go, well, that is up to you.
Yeah.
And so I am very hopeful that we will continue having it there.
Tell us about the course setup. First of all, how long were you playing it?
So we played about 6,000 yards.
Okay.
So from the white tees, we kind of Devin. He's like, we want to cater to like the 90%. We want to make it playable. We don't want to make it too difficult. Which I agree, right? We want to cater to a lot of ladies and grow this event and encourage everyone to come play. And then pin placements, I kind of went out with our superintendent and kind of set rough ones and then gave them to Devin, and he just kind of chuckled and he's like, I've got to change all of them. And I was like,
Why
okay.
is that? Were you making them?
I didn't, and I
tough,
told him
too
like,
easy?
because we're doing it on a software where we can't really see where all the knolls are, but we're just trying to give it a rough, like, hey, this is where we've had them in tournaments in years past. And he's like, I've got to find flatter spots, and I kind of chuckled and I said, good luck. There's not a ton of flat spots on our greens.
No, look, we all know this. Putting at the country club will send you home crying to your mama.
Yes, I've left crying before.
Yes.
But he did an amazing job. He came out Saturday night before the event and just went and was very thorough about setting the pins. And I thought they were all very fair in great positions. None of them came rolling back. The tricky part is the wind. Is when the wind starts howling.
Oh yeah.
It dries out the greens so
and
fast.
you had morning tee times. And
Yes.
Tends to be a little wind coming down the canyon.
Canyon winds.
in the mornings.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And so it just dried out the greens.
Mhm.
And if you're above the pin, it was
Have fun.
you were praying.
Yep.
Please stop by the hole.
Well, Haley, let me share something with you that's happening in real time right now.
Okay.
I just got a text from John Wright,
Yes.
one of the great champions in the Utah game, 2-time state am champ, 2-time senior state am champ. He is one of one to pull that double off. He's
Yes.
the only one in the Utah game ever to win both of those twice.
2025 Country Club club champion.
How many country
Lots
clubs?
of those,
Yeah,
but
I
current.
can't, I
He's
can't even
current.
I can't even count that high. But the current anyway, member of the country club.
Yes.
He just sent me a text saying, "We want the women's open again."
Good.
This is an
It
influential
sounds
member.
like a good tradition. It sounds like a tradition.
I think so. You know that
Yeah.
now they don't, nor should they consult with me.
No.
But I agree. I
Yeah.
think this would be a really remarkable gem
Yes.
in the Utah golf
Sector.
ecosystem.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
everything about it.
Yes.
To have the women's open at the country club on an annual basis, it would just ratchet everything up. And of course, having a championship of this caliber at a course of this caliber, on an annual basis so
Yes.
that you have year-over-year history built into it.
Right.
Really, really be remarkable.
It's like
Yes.
our own personal masters.
Right. yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons the Masters is what
Yeah,
it is, because it's
exactly.
at the same course
Exactly.
each time.
Right.
Now, there's value in the Rota for the other majors that move around,
Mm-hmm.
but there really is value in the Masters being at one location, and the same thing would happen here
Yes.
if that was something that the membership, and in particular the board, could build into the culture
Right.
of the board and the membership, which I hope they will. And again, they don't consult with me, nor should they. but I think it would be remarkably cool.
I think so too.
Well, Haley, what a great thing you have done. It is just really incredible.
I know. I'm
John-
reading it.
I
too.
know.
Yeah, John, thank you
Can
for
we read
listening,
it?
John. So appreciate it.
Let's read it.
John says again. Yeah, go ahead and read it, Jan.
Every member I talked to loved watching and being part of it. Haley made us all proud.
Okay.
Well done, Haley.
Well done,
you.
Haley,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Well, and I really appreciate, Haley, you taking a minute to come in and join us this morning. You're busy. Saturday morning
course.
Saturday morning at the club is just like work, right?
It is.
so you're only able to join us for the first hour, but I really appreciate it. And because I think this was a story that needed more attention than we were able to give it when we were talking about Emily Hoffman's win, which
Right.
was the right
Which
thing to do then.
It
Right,
is
right.
because we don't
Yeah.
want to overshadow that
No.
because she
No.
deserves all the praise and things like that for her incredible playing.
She played great. She matched par on this really difficult golf
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
And the part of it that's been ringing in my head since we talked with her about it was that she had the self-discipline and the restraint to stand there on the fairway after hitting a big, good drive on 9,
Mm-hmm.
and she had the mental presence to say, no, I am capable of hitting this 6-iron left, and that puts a big number on the card. She went wedge to the right, wedge into the green, took big number off the card, made a 5, and walked to the 10th tee. I think that's
Yes.
and as a result, she won the tournament.
Right.
Yep.
Kept big numbers off the card. No double bogeys in the entire tournament. That
Incredible.
normally
No.
does
But-
you well.
Yes.
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 It's that discipline factor.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, congratulations. Really well done.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right. We've got to do ourselves a little UPod update. The UPod update brought to us by our good friends at Scott Golf. Check them out, scottgolf.com, for this Utah product. What a sweet golf club. Check them out, scottgolf.com. Well, it's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon, but Jan,
What did you just say?
not a lot
Oh my
going
gosh.
not
that's
a
too
lot
funny.
going on with our UPods this week, but there is some. Jan, give us a
There's
UPod
a
update.
little bit. So we know that the Corn Ferry Tour last week, the boys were at the Boise Open, and they pretty much all missed the cut. So we already talked about that. But Connor Howe is at the Manitoba Open, and he has a 6:30 tee time for round 1. And Paul will probably give us an update on that.
He's through 7 holes so far. He's 2 under, which is good for T6, which is great.
Yeah.
Nice start, Connor. Tee times go through the day. They likely will shorten this event to 36
Yeah, I
holes
saw
because
that.
they've had severe weather.
Yeah.
And what's fun to me about that is that they're playing at a course called Breezy Bend. Well, apparently.
A little bit. It might have taken on its own name. There you go. Okay, so Mike Weir last week was at the Rogers Charity Classic, T42 -3, 207 on rounds of 70, 69, and 68. He's currently at the Ally Challenge. He sits solo 78 +7 on a first round of 79.
All right. Very good. All right, we need to send some love to Kihei Akina. He is the
Yes.
Zions Bank Player of the Week presented by Fairways Magazine. Shock me, shock me.
Mm-hmm.
Kihei wins the Utah Open, becoming the youngest winner ever, eclipsing a 50-year-old record. Previously, it was Mike Brannon, the former All-American and U.S. amateur champ at Brigham Young University. But Kihei becomes the youngest ever winner of the Utah Open. at minus 17, 199 on rounds of 66, 65, and 68. We will recap the Utah Open and hear from the champion, Kihei Akina, when we come back on the other side. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. All right. Sorry, we are back. So Sorry, I was a little confused there. We'll do things and stuff later in the show. Right now, we want to talk about the Utah Open, played last week at the Riverside Country Club. Of course, I know everybody out there, you all listen to the podcast report and make sure that you are subscribing to the Utah Golf Radio podcasts because we do all these tournament reports that take place on the weekend or during the week. As we noted, Kihei Akina won this tournament. It was a really remarkable thing, Haley, what he did. We all know Kihei. We all know that he is just hyper talented. But still, what a remarkable thing to beat this field.
Absolutely.
And to stay in charge of the tournament for the whole way. He went wire to wire.
Yeah.
And lived with it, slept with it, and brought it home. And remarkably, this was amazing to me. On the backside on Sunday, on the third and final round, he had 2 penalty strokes. He hit it into the water off of the tee on 10 and did so again off of the tee on 15. Had to take a drop. And on 10, he made a gutsy scrambling bogey with about an 8-foot putt for the 5. On 15, takes the drop, has to lay up on his third shot because of the corner and where he was. Of course, he hit it in the water left. And
Right.
so then you've got the corner there on the dogleg left. And then stuffs his 4th shot and makes par. 2 penalty shots and still never relinquished the lead, ended up winning by 2. It was a remarkable performance, I thought.
Pretty incredible. As we all know, that's not easy to do, of sleeping in the lead, getting up, doing it again, extending your lead, and then coming down the stretch, making penalty shots like that to stay calm in the moment. That is very, very impressive.
Yeah. Let's just review the scores here for a minute. So Kihei Akina wins the tournament, an amateur. So he was the winner, low-am, all that. Shoots minus 17, 199 on rounds of 66, 65, and 68. And as we just discussed, that 68 had 2 penalty shots on the backside. It's just astonishing what he did there. At T2, this was a really interesting group at T2. 3 players. Spencer Wallace, they all were at minus 15, 201, so 2 shots back. Spencer Wallace, a section member, so he won the sweeps for the low section member. Cole Ogden, an amateur who only plays intermittently,
Yes.
doesn't practice much, is really focused on being dad and husband and a professional in his career. But talent travels.
Yes, it
and
does.
talent sleeps.
Yes, it
We
does.
know this. And Cole Ogden's got talent, and former state am champ, and his game woke up, and he was in the mix the whole week. He actually led after the first round, and he had a clean card on Sunday.
It's incredible.
Shot minus 369 on Sunday. So Cole Ogden was part of the T2. And then this was fun, too. The third member of the T2 was Brady McKinley, former UVU player, won 4 college tournaments in a freaking row. Brady's out playing the pro game, looking for status, looking for qualifications.
Yeah.
And he got his way into this tournament. And he was at T2 with Cole Ogden and Spencer Wallace. And then to round out the top 5, Boston Bracken, back from his church mission and playing some golf again as he gets ready to head down to Arizona State. So Boston Bracken was at minus 14, 202. Martin Leon, Zach Jones, Carson Lundell, Cole Ponich, Blake Tomlinson, we mentioned earlier. Blake, a former winner of this event. Simon Kwan, Bowen Moss, Derek Fribbs, the defender. Matt Baird, who is one of the host professionals there. He's on the teaching staff at Riverside. Braxton Watts, former player at University of Utah. All of those local guys in the top 20.
I've never heard of any of these guys.
Yeah. But my real question is how
Right.
did Tony Romo do?
Okay, valid point.
Okay.
Okay, how did Tony do?
How did Tony do?
I think Tony missed the cut. Yeah. Tony was one shot out of the cut. However, that brings up something that's pretty interesting. Let's talk about it for a minute. So Tony Romo was with a big group of names we know who missed the cut just one shy of the number. The cut came at +1. Tony shot +2 in the first 36 holes. Chris Moody, the host pro, Jackson Moss, Telly Whiteman, Casey Fowles, Jordan Gibbs, they all were at +2. But here's a name that was most interesting at +2. Nicholas Miller.
Miller, yep.
13 years old.
Wow.
And of course in this event there's no tee options. You just
No.
you just tip it like everybody
Everybody
else.
Yep.
This 13-year-old little string of spaghetti,
Nugget.
he can move the club head
Mhm.
and he can putt.
I
And
love
he
it.
he
I
can
love
send
that.
that ball.
I mean,
He
look
is a
at look at his look at
legit
the company
player.
he sits in.
Look at
That's
the
just
company he's
it's
keeping.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's just so cool. I love
One
it.
shot out of the cut.
It's so
13
great.
years old. What a great accomplishment.
Seriously.
Well, and again, but this we're gonna be saying his name till the cows come
Don't
home.
forget this name, folks, Nicholas Miller. And if you're thinking, geez, I know the name Nicholas and I know the name Miller. Yes, you do.
Yes, you
Mm.
do.
He was named for Jack Nicklaus by his father, Todd Miller, and in honor also of his grandfather, Johnny Miller. The kid's got great DNA, and he's making good use of it. he
Love
is
to
a
see that.
Really, really quality young player. It's fun to see. All right. We, of course, the Kihei met with the media following his win, had some interesting things to say. Let's run that tape of the post-tournament, post-championship interview with the Utah Open champion, Kihei Akina. Okay, Haley, Jan, I want to get your takes on that, but before I go to that, just real quick, I need to correct a couple of mistakes I made. Michael Brannon won the U.S. Junior Am, not the U.S. Am, and the first round leader was Simon Kwan at 64. But some pretty interesting stuff there, Haley, that Kihei had to say. What jumped out at you?
I'm kind of laughing at because we've all been there when he's talking about the putt that he's like, thank
That thing
goodness
was
it
moving.
winning.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure as soon as when we all think of our golf game, right, we all can think of a putt that when we hit that, we're like, oh my gosh, it's off the green. It's gone. And it goes in. You're just like, whoop, go pick up your ball and run off because you're just like, you're so grateful that it goes in.
Right.
But just listening to him and how humble he is, it's pretty remarkable. It shows his character and kind of fun to put him in a environment that you can tell that he's not quite used to and little different for him and expanding his comfort zone. So it's going to be fun to watch him in his college career and his career afterwards.
Cannot wait to see it. Jan, what got your attention?
Well, a couple things. I think that his, you're right, his personality, he's very smart and intelligent, and he does very, very well. And I think he's going to ultimately do well in these interviews and things like that. But his authenticity is so apparent. He's just so real in the, I am cool.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah, that's a
he's
good
still
point.
19. Let's
Yeah.
remember he's 19 and things are
Exactly.
still cool.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was so well played. He has immense presence, and he walks as one who knows he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, and you hear it in the way he speaks.
Mhm.
We're going to say this name for a long, long time.
Yes.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, a little things and stuff. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. things and stuff. Brought to us by Uinta Golf. Here on Utah Golf Radio, we are getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. This first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf at slcgolf.com and the Salt Lake City Golf app, and we are powered, as always, by T-Box. Check them out at tbx.golf, where they have figured out the whole golfer experience and cracked the code with clubs, community, and coaching.
Coaching.
All those C words.
I know it's like the diamond C's.
We are joined now by Shane Jewett from Uinta Golf. Shane, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Terrific,
well.
terrific. So glad to have you with us, Shane. We have some news. Titleist has released their new iron line. We've been waiting for this for a while. Uinta has them. Tell us about the new Titleist irons.
Yeah, we've got some new Titleist irons. So they've changed the lineup just a little bit. You still have the 100 and the 150s, just like before. Now the 200s are going to be at 250. And then you're going to have a 350. And the big difference really between on the 250 and the 350s is now we've got hollowed cavity back opposed to just an open face cavity back.
Okay.
So they can put more discretionary weight where they want in there, and you don't really see it, but it does nice, fun things for everybody.
So let's start at the top of the line, the T100. Titleist calls this a modern tour iron. And I go to tour events, Jan, and you see T100s in the bags all day long. The thing that's intriguing to me about this, Shane, is that Titleist is calling it the modern tour iron. Tell us about the T100 at the top of the line.
Yeah, I mean, that's hasn't changed a ton. They have changed the weighting in it a little bit. And then I'll be honest, I have not looked up the specs on this. So I'm not sure exactly the exact differences. So I apologize.
No,
on that.
it's all good.
But yeah, I don't know if you looked up any of it. I have not had a chance to even look at them yet.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty familiar with this club. A sweet feeling club, a very strong and reliable club. But it rather than a solid piece of forged metal like you get in the CB or the MB, this has tungsten weighting heel and toe that is graduated as the clubs get more loft in them. And then you put that against the T150, which has slightly stronger loft profile. And there's a trade there, and it's a question of what your swing requires and what you want. The trade, of course, is you get a little stronger loft, you're going to have a little bit more distance, a little bit more carry, but it will affect your descent angle and the ability to stop the ball. So make your choice.
Correct. Yes. Each player is different. The 250s do the same thing. So they have a 250 and then they have a 250 with a strong loft as well. So they're kind of doing the same thing in the 250 line. And in the 350, you don't get that, right? So the 350, a little bigger head, a little more offset, little thicker top line, more of a game improvement iron. If you want to call Titleist that, right? Still a really great iron.
Yeah. Titleist tends to target single-digit handicaps. To be fair, that's their market. But and I am least familiar with the T350.
Yeah, the 350. I mean, again, you're going to have stronger lofts on the T350. So just to kind of give you an example, like a T350, I don't even know why. I always look at specs on like 6 irons and stuff, but like a T350 6-iron loft is 29 degrees compared to like a T100 is 33.
Yeah. Wow.
And like a T250 strong loft is 35. So you're 6 degrees difference. I mean, that's a club and a half
Right.
just in just right there. So very strong lofts, trying to get the ball as far as they can get it to go. All the weighting is very low, so the center of gravity is very low to try to get the ball in the air. So they want to get it up in the air, spinning, and get it on a good trajectory for the player, and so they can control the distance, when they're hitting them.
That's really cool. Tell people what they need to do to check out these clubs at Uinta.
So just come on down. We've got them here. They're flying off the rack, so we're
Surprise.
already starting to run a little bit low on some. I mean, not quite as fast as like the.
I would say, what about the
DT
spider putter? Do you have that?
putters, but
You still
yeah.
have that one, or is it? Or
But,
did you get
you
your
know
new
what?
stock
I do,
yet?
I do. I have 2 ZT spider putters here right now. So if
Okay, we'll
anybody
be right
wants
there.
one, I've got 2 here at the moment.
Yeah, we'll
They
be right
probably
there.
won't be here by the end of the day. Yeah,
I know.
So, yes.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
goodness.
pretty cool. So which model is getting the most attention in these new Titleist irons?
I still think like the 250. I mean, 'cause that kind of you get kind of like the better player, but it's still going to be a little bit forgiving, right? I've even noticed like on some of the tour players, they're going to like slightly more forgiving irons, which you'd never even thought of, 15 years ago, right? Everything was just a straight blade.
Right.
And now you're seeing a little bit more forgiving irons in some of their bags, which is, you're seeing 7 woods and 9 woods and stuff that you would have never seen back 15 years ago, right?
I know. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. All right, folks, be sure to check these out at Uinta. Shane is at the Sandy store. Of course, there are Uinta stores in Riverdale, Sugar House, Orem, and St. George as well. Check them out. These new Titleist irons in Uinta Golf. Shane, thanks for joining us this morning.
Okay, guys, take care.
That's Shane Jewett from Uinta Golf, where you can go to check out the new Titleist irons. And apparently they've got 2 of the Spider ZT putters.
Hurry.
They won't be there long.
Nope.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we've got something really special for you. I'm excited and been looking forward to this. We will talk with the great Hal Sutton when we come back on the other side. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. That means Utah Golf Radio coming to you live today from the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700, getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with the Utah Golf Association, Utah Section, PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. Paul and Jan with you today. This second hour of the show is brought to you by Mountainland Power Equipment. Make sure you check them out for all of your power equipment needs for those projects you got to finish up by the end of the summer. MountainlandPowerEquipment.com. And we are powered, as always, by T-Box, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, community, and coaching. Check them out at tbx.golf. We are joined now by one of the greats of the game, and I am so excited and honored to welcome to the show Mr. Hal Sutton. Hal, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Paul.
We're so glad to have you with us, Hal. There's so much we want to talk with you about. Let's start with, can we go back to your college days? Here at Utah Golf Radio, we focus on the Utah game, and one of the greats of the Utah game is J. Don Blake. And this is a name I think you might know.
Oh, absolutely. J. Don and I got acquainted in college, and he beat me in the NCAAs, and, then we battled it out on the tour for a lot of years. J. Don is a good friend.
He is a good friend to us as well, and a good man, and a member of the Utah Golf Hall of Fame. In 1980, you were dominant in the amateur game. You won the USAM, for crying out loud. You were the College Player of the Year, but came up just a shot short from winning the NCAA Individual Championship because J. Don nipped you at the end there. Something we've always been very proud of, but quite aware that you were the guy he beat.
Well, it was at the Scarlet Course at Ohio State, and J. Don made a couple of really long putts to get into the playoff with me, and then we went 4 holes, and he made about a 30-footer on the 4th hole to knock me out. So, J. Don's always been a really good putter, and he showed it true to his form there.
Yeah, I hear you say that, and I think, get in line. He's done that to all of us. So, what a great thing. Hal, you are the author of one of the great quotes, one of the iconic audio clips of the game when you are on the 72nd hole, TPC Sawgrass, about to win the Players' Championship, and you bark at the ball in the air to be the right club today. Is that fun for you? It's fun for us.
Well, that was just a moment of passion. Everybody has always asked me where that came from. Had I ever said that before? And the answer to that is no. And it was just, I didn't want to go anymore. The ball was in the air. I had the perfect yardage. It's right at the flag. I knew I hit it on the 4th and 5th groove. So everything was in place for it to be a really good shot unless a puff of wind or something came up, an outside force. And that's where that came from. Just be the right club. Don't fool me. And, playing against Tiger in 2000, he was that year as good as he was ever at any point in time. And, golf needed somebody to beat him at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I knew that without an outside force, that shot was going to get it done. That's the best way I know how to put it. And,
I love that. The question I have about that, be the right club. I think we've all said that. But the today part.
Yeah, that's the thing. Today.
Had you pulled the wrong club earlier in the round or a different day? Or where did today come from?
Well, there's no bigger highlight in my life than that day. So that's why it was so important that day. That victory wasn't just for Hal Sutton. That victory was for everybody else on the PGA Tour that needed to know that Tiger could be beat because he was turning everybody back at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that was the importance of today. We didn't need to go any further than that day before that happened. So
I love that.
I
I've
really
wondered
do.
that for
Yeah.
years, Hal. I think that
That's
is really
that's
interesting.
really wonderful to know.
But you just said something that I think in the context of what you're saying about how the golf world, the sporting world,
Needed
needed to see Tiger
Mhm.
could be beat. That's a really good point. But you just said something that really got my attention, where that was the big moment. You're a major champion.
Mhm.
You also won the PGA championship. So was it the 2,000 players and taking down Tiger that eclipsed winning a major?
well, I mean, I was fortunate enough that Jack finished second to me in that major in 1983. So,
Indeed.
I was one of the guys. My career spanned long enough that I was able to be arguably the two best players ever.
Yeah, totally.
And so, but I have to tell you, beating Tiger with his dominance at the time probably ranks higher to me than winning the PGA. Jack was my idol. I tried to emulate everything that he did. As a kid, we'd watch TV, my dad and I, and my dad used to say, if that's good enough for Jack Nicklaus, that ought to be good enough for Hal Sutton. And so, I spot putted, I lined up, I stood behind the ball to line up every shot and had some spot in front of it to make sure that I got lined up correctly. All the things that Jack did or said he did, I tried to do. But I knew how great Tiger was because I was playing the same courses, the same time. So, beating Tiger at that time ranks probably higher to me than beating Jack.
That is so interesting, and it makes sense. You mentioned your dad. With your permission, I'd like to talk about your dad for a minute in the context of you made some noise in 2020 by saying that golf parents need to consider how their kids perceive their love. And I applaud you for what you had to say there. In my day job, I run First Tee in Utah, and I feel passionately about the kids. I think what you said was spot on and needs to be said and repeated. Tell us your thoughts on how golf parents need to make sure their kids know that they love them regardless of what they shoot.
Well, Paul, if you can allow me a minute or two here to
Please.
go off on a tangent.
Please.
Golf's in a bad spot as far as I'm concerned. And it starts with the youngsters. We're putting so much pressure on them to be exact, with all of the data in the world and everything else, and parents are involved in it, and, it's got to be perfect. And, this is not a game of perfect. This is, and by the way, this is not a game of science. This is, as in my mind, we've lost it, but this is art as well as science. And we're not using our imagination in the game anymore. We're not even allowed to use our imagination in the game anymore. We're a product of the environment that we are creating. So we live in a world where everything is an exact yardage, and we're not using the ground to maneuver the ball. We are totally flying the ball wherever we want to go. I taught for a little while, and, we'd open the garage door up and let guys hit it out, or kids hit it out on the range, and they would look back at what TrackMan said before the ball even hit the ground. And, and I'm like, wait a minute, watch the ball till it hits the ground so that you've got something to relate what these numbers say.
Yeah.
And, parents are hovering over the kids, and like, it feels so mechanical. And let me tell you something, a relationship between a parent and a child should not be mechanical. And they need to know that both in success and failure, they're still loved. And, I can't emphasize that enough, and I said to my dad, I have to say I was tough as a kid growing up because my dad was tough. And as I aged, I always said to him, I never knew for sure that you loved me unless I played really well. I always felt the love when I played really well. Well, I don't want people to feel that now. I want them to feel loved all the time. I mean, there are consequences in life, but it shouldn't be over whether you make a putt or you don't make the putt.
Well, your career matters in so many ways, but I think what you're saying now is the most important part, and I hope people will keep it at the top of your legacy because it so matters. I so appreciate what you're saying there, Hal.
Well,
Go ahead, please.
Well, it's a great game. My fondest memories are as a kid playing with my dad. My dad's 92 years old now and can't play golf anymore and can't do many things anymore. And, I look back, I learned a lot from my dad. I learned a lot from being on the golf course with him. And, I think so few kids actually make it in the golfing world to the highest level.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So let's make sure that we're still playing golf together and liking one another as we age.
Good point. Good point. Hal, in 2004, you were the captain of the Ryder Cup team, so you know what it is to be the captain, to run the show, to be in the captain's chair and in the locker room and make the roster cards and all that stuff. The big question in the world of golf right now is what should Keegan Bradley do with his own captaincy and the possibility of him playing? I'm so interested in what you think because you've been there.
Well, first of all, let me tell you this. He can't, if they're not playing well when they get there, there's no decision that he can make that can overcome that.
Okay.
So, I mean, the captain is given too much credit if they win, and he's given too much credit if they lose. I mean, I played on 4 Ryder Cup teams, and I'd a whole lot rather play than I had captain because you can't really, as a player, you can produce points or lose points. And as a captain, you don't hit a shot, you don't do anything. You got to deal with the personalities of all the players, and let's just say this: you're not just dealing with the personalities of the players. You're dealing with the personalities of the wives, the caddies. I mean, it's so many people involved in it, and it's difficult. That's all I can say. And, if I were Keegan Bradley, I'd play in a New York second. And because I'd feel like I should be held responsible as a player and could have some positive or negative effect that's, you can tell what the player did.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting point. All right. I appreciate that. Hal, when I think back over your career, and I've watched you from the beginning, so enjoyed watching you play all those years and all the tournaments you won and the great things you did. I always picture you standing on the green holding a Ping Pal putter. But you are gaming a Makefield putter now, and this is a brand, a make that I am only now becoming familiar with, but very impressed with. Tell us a little about the Makefield putters that you are using.
So you're right. Most of my career I putted with either a Ping Pal or a Scotty Cameron, Newport News. Didn't switch putters a lot. I just felt like I held myself responsible rather than a piece of equipment, and so few people want to hold themselves responsible anymore. It's always somebody else's fault, and there's something to be learned from that. I hope everybody's listening. Anyway, Makefield had tried to get me to do something a year or two ago, and I just felt like it wasn't me because the technology, I've been not a big proponent of losing the art in the game. And they kept speaking to me and trying to get me to do it. And I went up there and I said, okay, I'm coming up to Philadelphia and I want to look at what y'all are doing. And by the time I finished and saw all the technology that went into the putter, I said, I'm on board. And, they try to get the ball on the ground as fast as they can, which takes a skid out of it. And the radial cusp that they designed for the face does that. And I like a little bit heavier putter, and because I feel like you can manage that when the pressure is on a little better. You get too light a putter, it's hard to move it slow like you want to. So, and the way that the weights are distributed in the putter goes right through the center of the ball and through the equator of the ball. And I really like that. And then you can adjust the weight on the putter any way you want to. And I like that as well. So after looking at all the technology, I thought it was the best putter on the market. And that's why I decided that we could team up. I don't have to make a putt anymore that is making me a living anymore. But if I did, I'd have Makefield in my hands. That's all I could say.
Well, that says a lot. Folks, you should check them out. MakefieldGolf.com. Really interesting, beautiful putters. They've got 6 different designs here, and there's going to be one in there that'll get your attention, I'm sure.
So one of the things that they do, I was going to share this with you. They just sent me, so I know Jadon was a big Utah State guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
So I've supported Arkansas Razorbacks forever. They can make the putter with your college mascot or whatever on there, the color of your college, whatever that is. They sent me one just this week. Beautiful putter.
A Razorback putter for you?
A Razorback putter, yes.
That is great. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hal Sutton, thank you so much for joining us today. What a pleasure. What an honor to talk with you. Your career matters, and what you've done in the game, what you've meant to the game, really matters. You're one of the greats, and I so appreciate you spending some time with us today. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Paul, and we appreciate your continued support of the kids up there in Utah, too. So they need our love. So our golf love.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I will repeat it to them. Thank you. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. That is Hal Sutton, Jan, one of the greats of the game. Holy cow. His point that he makes about the golf community and the sporting community needing in 2000 to see that Tiger Woods could be beat really rings home. I hadn't thought of it in those terms, and he's right.
Yep, 100%. I mean, it's one of those things that we didn't know. I mean, that's kind of a secret that people may have thought, what was more important to him. And for him to say beating Tiger at that time is because it was needed, was more important than winning the PGA Championship.
Yeah, and in 2000, Tiger, of course, was in the midst of the Tiger Slam, and as Hal said, so incredibly dominant. That was really interesting. And then I just want to re-emphasize again what he had to say about parents making sure that the kids know they are loved and accepted for who they are, regardless of what they shoot. There's 100 coaches out there. I can give you the numbers to all of them. There's one dad, one mom. Be mom, be dad, and love those kids, whether they're the winner that day or not. That is a message I think we all need to hear. I so appreciate it.
And I always like to mention that my lovely granddaughter, Maya Thompson, goes to
Centenary College, where Hal Sutton went.
And Hal has actually come and spoken to their golf team, and she found that to be really special. It was really, she called me and said it was such a great day to get to meet him and have him speak to them and just talk about his experience, and it was great.
That is so cool. All right, let's talk about somebody who needs some relief, brought to us by Duro Health. I need some relief. Brought to us by Duro Health, where you can swing faster, hit farther, play better, and feel better. Check them out at durohealth.com. Jan, I was watching a little bit of the Tour Championship at East Lake yesterday, and Scotty Cameron tried to get some Scotty Scheffler. Why did I say
I don't
Cameron?
because
Who
I
knows?
think Hal just said it a second
Who
ago.
knows? Scotty Scheffler tried to get some relief. He was on that steep bank on the left of number 17, and brought a referee over trying to get some relief, claiming the ball was embedded. It was not, and they had video evidence showing that it bounced and rolled in, so it could not have embedded. But it was in grass that covered his shoes. It was on a steep slope. He needed relief, and he couldn't
Did not get it.
and
Bummer.
And so once they told him no, he stepped in, and inside of 3 seconds, he had slapped at that ball and just knocked it out sideways. It was kind of fun to watch. But Scotty wanted relief, needed relief, and was unable to get it.
Was denied relief.
Denied relief. Okay, let's talk about somebody on a Sizz. On a Sizz, brought to us by Next Level Golf. Check them out at nextlevelgolf.com. I'll tell you, Jan, the entire field at the Tour Championship is on a Sizz, and there's a good reason for that. That golf course, East Lake, is a bit of a sponge right now. It is so wet. They're playing ball in hand, lift clean in place.
Oh, jeez.
So these players, with their skill level and their talent,
in hand.
are having perfect lives with a clean
lift
ball.
Clean and lift clean play.
Unreal. And then they're hitting it into soft greens, so it's like throwing a dart.
Yeah, just sticking.
They are going
That's
low.
going to be
lead.
interesting to see how that works out, and especially if it starts to dry out by tomorrow.
Hope
I don't think
does.
it's going to, though. It's going to be dumping for a while.
Yeah,
so
they've got weather.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they even have delays and things, too.
Exactly. But they are going low because they're throwing the ball at a dartboard, so it is kind of fun. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to catch up with Patrick Fishburne. He is on a break now between the regular season and the fall series. We're going to get figure out what Fish has to say. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio coming back at you from the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700, getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. We are powered by T-Box and brought to you this hour by Mountainland Power Equipment. Make sure you check those guys out. We are joined now by Patrick Fishburn, taking a break from the PGA Tour between the regular season and the fall series. Patrick, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning. Thank you for having me on.
So glad to talk with you, Patrick. Some things I want to get your thoughts on, but I'm going to start with this. Patrick, you are a heart attack, dude. You Canadian Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, the FedEx points. You wait till the last tournament or two to pull ahead and get yourself solid, and you did it again this week, or this year, this couple weeks ago. What up, man? What? How come? What? Why not just get some points earlier in the year?
If you figure out a way, let me know. I'm trying to figure that out too. I don't know what the deal is. I think I just like to push it off to the end, I guess. Probably just how I did my homework growing up. I'd always kind of wait to the last second and then slam that thing the last hour I could before the exam. So probably some bad study habits that have gone into the golf game.
What a great metaphor for it. Look, nonetheless, what a remarkable ability you have demonstrated repeatedly to get the job done when the lights are on, but we're coming down to the end of the show, and it's got to be done now or never. Walk us through your incredible performance there at the last tournament to get pull ahead on the weekend to make the cut on the line and then make the top 100. Holy cow.
Yeah, I did have a little bit of good fortune with the weather. We had a weather delay that kind of came in before I was able to finish my second round, and I just made a double, which put me in a really bad spot. So it was looking like I was going to need to birdie the last three, but stood on the seventh tee, which was my 16th hole, and they blew the horn, thank goodness, and I was able to go back to the hotel and reset, and then the next day came out thinking that I needed to birdie all three. I birdied two out of the three, which ended up just barely being enough to get to the weekend, and then played really good on Saturday and Sunday. So something I definitely needed, and I kind of the whole time that weekend I just kept telling myself, this is kind of bonus golf. Whenever something came up or I got anxious or nervous or whatever it was, I just kept telling myself this is bonus golf. Whatever happens, happens, and then it led to a good finish. And so, which what I kind of needed. I had a few events in a row where I felt like I left a little bit out there, walking away with the week a little bit disappointed. I was in the hunt at the John Deere and then in the hunt at Barracuda and Kentucky, and I just hadn't quite closed exactly how I wanted to. And so it was nice to shoot a couple of 65s and move up forward on the FedEx Cup. So very, very lucky to get into the weekend, but glad I was able to take advantage of it.
You totally took advantage of it. And Jan, he's so right. A couple of 65s will get you healthy. That was really good stuff. Patrick, the regular season is now concluded. What's your takeaway from this part of the arc of playing on the PGA Tour?
Just constantly trying to improve. I feel like I'm actually in a better spot than I was last year. If you look at the stats, I feel like a lot of my numbers are improving, especially putting has gotten a lot better. Strokes gained is in a better spot. And so it's just constantly trying to get a little bit better. And it's a journey. There's so many great players out there that you're trying to beat every single week, and everyone is at the top of their game, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so it's spiritually, you're just trying to perfect yourself and be kind to yourself along the way as well, because you're going to hit a lot of bad shots, make a lot of dumb decisions, especially like I do. And so you're just always trying to figure out that battle. And it's been a blast. This is the dream that I've thought about since I was a kid. And so to be able to play a game for a living and I wake up very excited every single day to go out to the course and try for a new challenge.
We all know you as a big hitter. You are tall, strong, athletic, a lot of clubhead speed. You're a high speed player. But let's go back to what you just mentioned about your putting. You are 56th on the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting this year, which is both a market improvement for you, as you noted, and above average. You're beating the field average on the PGA Tour with your putting. What did you do to get there?
Well, first of all, thank you for all the nice words there. I wish my wife would say that every single day. You're so tall, athletic, good looking, so smart and fun.
Well, Paul has a man crush on you, Fish,
I
if you haven't already
do.
figured that out.
I do. I'll own that.
He does.
It's very mutual.
I like that.
About 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was kind of rock bottom putting, and I felt like I really needed to make us do something different. And so they have all those bags on the putting green
Right.
with all the different manufacturers, and so I tried all the different putters. But it still wasn't quite clicking. I was very streaky. I wasn't getting sustained results, and so I really had to evaluate things. And so I started exploring kind of green reading, and the process behind that started picking the brains of a lot of great putters. I play a lot of practice rounds with guys that are great putters, like Harry Hall. He's a top 3 putter.
Yeah.
Montgomery's a top 3 putter. Play a lot with Jake Knapp, who's a top 15 putter, and just a bunch of other guys. I started asking them questions, kind of being aware of how they're going about things, and kind of came up with a good green reading system, and then really focusing on the speed. Speed is everything in putting, and once you pick a line and you hit the right speed, then you can quickly evaluate how the putt that you just hit, and then you can make adjustments throughout the round. And so it's just a little bit of an adjustment with putting practice. I don't do any training aids or anything technical, really. It's all about throughout the week. I'm just practicing green reading and practicing hitting a foot and a half by.
That is so interesting. I'm curious now, hearing you describe your practice rounds from the perspective of a player of your talent level, of your skill and accomplishment level, where you are, who you are, playing with those guys who are great putters, even in a group of people who are, by definition, great putters. What do you see in them that stands out to you?
I'm always impressed with the kind of the process and how diligent these guys are with getting their fundamentals in check, but just the way they practice. None of these guys hit a putt or hit a ball thoughtlessly. Everything is done with some intent. And I just have learned a lot how to practice properly and how to just use your time wisely and efficiently before events, during events, after rounds, before rounds. And so just paying attention. There's so many great players, obviously, and there's so much to be learned from all the players. And so I try to take a little bit of pieces from guys here and there, see what they do well, and then try to apply it to my own game and try it. That's the beauty about golf, is so many different things to work on and so many different things to learn every single day. So I'm just constantly trying to learn and improve myself. But it's been great. I feel like I've discovered something that can be a little bit more sustainable and something that can lead to some more consistency.
That's really cool. You finished 95th on finished the regular season, I should say, 95th on the FedEx Cup points. So inside the top 100. Check that box. Mission accomplished. Really well done. But the way this system is set up, you're not done. You really need to pay attention to the fall series and maintain that top 100 status. Tell us, please, about your plans for the fall series.
Yep, there's still quite a lot of work to be done. You have to keep that, like you said, keep that status within the top 100 by the end of RSM, which will be close to just the week before December. And so still a lot of work to be done, but I really do like the venues in the fall. I feel like they're courses that I play well at. I really like to play in the wind. I like to play in conditions that are firmer and faster. And in the fall, the temperatures aren't quite as hot, so the course setups are able to be a little bit firmer and faster. There's less, thunderstorms in the afternoon and different things like that. It just allows that type of course. And so looking forward to that. A lot of great venues. Of course, playing in my home state is always a highlight. And then, just looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be pressure packed. There's going to be some stress, some anxiety, but I think those situations bring the best out of me and help me to focus and concentrate and play to my best ability.
Yes,
Yes,
Patrick,
they do.
Yeah, Patrick, when we as regular people play on the golf course, we oftentimes say, "Okay, you're not on tour; just hit the ball." But for you, we have to say, "But you are on tour." So
You are.
it's a little bit of a different story there. So, will we see you here in October?
Yep, absolutely.
Fantastic.
That's great news.
So looking forward to it. That, of course, is the Bank of Utah Championship at Black Desert, October 23rd through 26th. That's so cool that you'll be teeing it up there. Where are you planning to play otherwise? Which of the other fall series are you planning to play in?
Pretty much just all of them on the
Okay.
schedule. Yeah, I'll just play all those. I think they're all great events, and then it just kind of depends on how I'm playing and where I'm finishing, and then as a guy that's outside the top 70, you really don't have any. You can't afford to take any events off, and so you pretty much just play on the schedule when you can, and so.
Can you do us a favor?
What's
Can
that?
you give our hearts a rest and just go ahead and take it right out of out the gate, so that we don't, we're not pacing. I mean, Patrick, you have us pacing in our living rooms, going, "Come on, Patrick," and I pace in a circle. You're making me insane.
I feel like that helps me.
I know.
So many people that are just
We
rooting
are.
on
We
this
are.
side.
We
I love
are
it.
willing greatness for you.
So-
We are willing good things.
So Jan actually has a point. I think Silverado is a good course for you.
Mhm.
Just go win at Procore and get this thing done.
I like that idea. It's a good course. I really like the way it kind of sets up. Requires a lot of 3-irons and stuff like that, so it should be good test. Played good there last year, and
Mhm.
it's just a great part of the country.
Well, it is so cool. We are so looking forward to seeing you play at Black Desert again this year. Cannot wait for that. And congratulations on what a really successful regular season,
Yep.
making it into the top 100. What a great accomplishment.
And we do
then-
like the drama.
we-
I mean, I'm sorry. We do like the drama.
I like watching you
I
play.
know we do too, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah.
And we know that today you're focusing on being dad. So can we give a shout to your incredible wife, Maddie,
yes.
and your 3 lovely boys? They're terrific.
Yeah, we got a big time event today. We got a 2- and 3-year-old soccer game here in a couple minutes, and so should be a lot of low scoring, probably a lot of kicks towards the wrong goal, maybe some orange slices. But
And don't forget the tickle fights. There are always
Yep.
tickle fights when they're that
Okay.
age in the field.
Love it.
there'll be something. This is where the real drama will be, probably in the next 20 minutes in this
That's
game.
right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Patrick. Have a great day at the kids' soccer. We so appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Good chat with you guys.
All right. That's
Thank you.
Patrick Fishburne. Jan, this is a great player.
I know.
Great champion.
And
But what a good man. What a
great
good
opportunity
guy.
for him
Yeah.
to come and play in his home state. And,
Yeah.
we can all come and cheer him on. And
And
so,
we'll be there.
yeah, everyone should go down and watch Patrick and cheer him on.
All right. Holy cow. What's next, Jan?
Paul, you know what's next.
I do. It's the What's Next segment brought to us by our friends at the Utah Golf Association. Stick around on the other side. We'll tell you what's coming up next in Utah Golf. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio. Putting the bow on the show. Talking to you about what's coming up next in Utah Golf. Jan, the big thing is the Senior Am at Bonneville next week, the final UGA championship. UGA championships, of course, are that's what the UGA does.
Yep.
Championship
That's
golf.
what they do. This is really the last one of the year?
I believe it is. No, the Utah four ball. My
Okay.
bad. Four ball coming up in September.
Okay.
But this is the last individual championship.
That's kind of a bummer. It's a little bit of a bummer because it feels like, golf season's kind of
I know.
dwindling
I hate
down,
that.
and I hate it
I know.
so much, especially when it's still 95 degrees. But
What's up with that?
I know,
you know,
but
and-
next week it's gonna
well-
rear its ugly head. It's gonna be 80.
Yeah, well, that'll be nice.
I know
but,
it will be.
But still, you make a good point.
Mhm.
And for me, it is the Utah Open,
Mm-hmm.
the state
Yeah.
Open at Riverside. That kind of puts an exclamation
Yeah,
point on
the
championship season.
Yeah.
And now we need to start looking forward to other kinds of things that we do on Utah Golf Radio, some more human interest stuff.
Mhm.
Obviously, it gets into award season here before too long. We talk about people recognized for their great accomplishments throughout the year, but there still are a couple of championships coming up. The state senior, the senior state am. That's easy for you to say. The senior state am, and this has always been one of the majors, one of the big things that the Utah Golf Association does, but it is becoming more and more prominent because it's getting harder and harder to get into.
Do you know why? I figured this out.
Well, I think I do know why, but I'm
Okay,
interested
it's
in what
probably
you
the
have.
same.
No, what?
Well,
what do you-
because
what-
all these players are now turning 50.
yeah, great
We
players
have all
are
these
turning
great
50.
players that are now getting into that senior status, and so it's going to be a plethora of
Yeah.
of talent.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about some of the talent. One of the other things is exactly what T-Box is doing. It is that physical fitness is so much better now than
Oh my
it was
gosh,
a generation ago.
Look at even your physical fitness is different. I mean, we all. I mean, think
Well,
about
I
it.
can-
I mean,
I can think of
you're in
better
your,
examples
you're in your,
than
No,
that.
but you're in your 60s, and you are in pretty good health. And
Yeah,
so
I'm in good
I
shape,
mean,
yeah.
I'm in my late 50s, and I'm in pretty good health, and I can attribute it to golf.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of players like Craig Wilson,
Right.
Brigham Gibbs,
Right.
Shane McMillan.
But using
These
that
are- these are
T-box,
horses,
using that
and they are-
T-box theory,
They are in shape. They
Yeah.
are their
taking
their
the
bodies
physical
are
part
yeah.
with the game.
Yeah, and there are several others that really jump out at that. Matt Lyons and Jeff Jolly. These are players that are strong. John Pieper. I'm just running down the list here and talking about players I know, players I play with. Holy cow. So many. And these are the players. Brett Hess. These are the players who are going to be leading the way into this tournament. And it's a really great format, modeled after the State Am, the Women's State Am. Starts with stroke play that'll be held
Okay.
at Bonneville.
Okay.
And then
Match.
play. The brackets are generated out of the stroke play the way it should be. And, of course, you've got the senior division, ages 50 to 60, the super seniors 60 to 70, and then the legends from 70 and beyond. So that's coming up this next week.
I think the
stroke play
legends
on
should
Monday.
play the itty bitties. We should have they should have a partner, an itty bitty partner, and then they should play against each other.
That might be what it is. And then, okay, so that's coming up this
Yes.
next week. That's the big thing. And then we will be getting into the fall season on the
Yes.
PGA Tour. That will really matter to Patrick Fishburne, to Zach Blair,
Yes.
and it will matter to Tony Finau. We haven't talked about
well,
that
gosh,
much, but
of
we
course,
will.
because he needs it too.
He needs it. He needs to try to get into the group from 50 to 60. We'll talk about that on a future show.
Yep.
Jan, tell us about the Girls Go Golfing event. you
Oh,
got
our next
coming up.
Girls Go Golfing event is Friday. It's the second Friday of every month. So Friday, September 2nd, we are going to be playing at the famous Forestdale,
Nice. I love Forestdale.
the one and only Forestdale. So we're very excited. We're going to start at 5 o'clock because we are getting a little later. So go to Facebook and it's on our events page.
That is so cool. All right. So be sure to follow the social media from Randy Dodson and Kurt Cragthorpe. That'll keep you instantly updated on everything happening in the game. Make sure that you are subscribed to the Utah Golf Radio podcast, where we'll go in more depth and bring you updates throughout the week, especially this coming week with the Senior State Am. That way you can stay up to date on Utah golf through the week until the Utah Golf Radio Show every Saturday morning on ESPN 700. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to everybody who is a part of the show today. This is Paul Pugmire saying, don't jab it like Jan.
Jan Brownstein says, chug it, don't pug it.
Always good advice. Please replace your divots, fix your ball marks, and for Andy Curtis, do not spit sunflower seeds on the green.
Stop it.
You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network.